Everybody calls him Sunshine.
He has the talent. He's got the skill set.
He's big like Peyton, but just a better athlete.
He is faster than you think.
He's got all those intangibles.
He checks every single box.
Wow! A game-changing play.
Hey everyone, it's Daniel Jeremiah from Move the Sticks.
And I'm Bucky Brooks, and this is Trevor Lawrence's 360.
With the first pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Trevor Lawrence, quarterback, Clemson.
Well, not a surprise there. Trevor Lawrence goes wire to wire as the expectation was he would be the first pick, and he was the first pick of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Hello, everybody. DJ Bucky back with you, and this is Trevor Lawrence 360. Buck, this is something we've covered throughout the draft process on our podcast, which you can find at NFL.com/podcast or wherever you find your podcasts. But man, this is not a surprise to see Trevor Lawrence land as the first overall pick.
Yeah, not a surprise to see him land at the first overall pick. But what this is always going to be about on the 360, it's going to be about really breaking down Trevor Lawrence and who he is. First, we're going to talk about Trevor Lawrence's climb to Clemson. We're going to talk to Urban Meyer, the Jaguars head coach. And we're also going to predict the future, how Trevor Lawrence will ultimately play out in the league and beyond.
Well, we're going to get this going here with our first guest who know Trevor better than anyone and actually have some insights into the early athleticism that was displayed by Trevor, and it wasn't on a football field. Jeremy and Amanda, I guess my first question would be, at what point in time did you realize that your son Trevor was a good athlete?
When he was 5, he was on the soccer team because he was not able to play football yet. He wasn't old enough. He didn't meet the age requirement. And so, he would just get the ball and score. And finally, the coach of the other team was like, listen, you got to take him out because he is just making all the goals.
He was more vigorously intense back then. You could really see it. You don't see a lot of it now. He's very competitive, but he was you would have thought he would have been a linebacker at that age. He was really vocal and aggressive.
Lawrence keeps it, tries to get the edge. Dive! Touchdown, Tigers!
You guys seem so calm and so mellow. Is there a story when Trevor was growing up where you saw him actually have a temper tantrum, or he got a little upset and we saw some of that raw emotion come out? Because you guys seem so chill.
Yeah, so this is funny. I tell everyone this. When he was a kid, he was insane. I mean, he would never wear clothes. He would run down the street butt naked. He would jump on coffee tables. He would say the most embarrassing out-of-pocket stuff in public and stores, wherever we were at. Man, we thought he was going to be so wild as he got older and really be a handful, but he is now the complete opposite. So it's fascinating how he is now because that is not the same child.
He's been dealing with this since the 9th grade. When he won the job as a 14-year-old at Cartersville, which is a great program, and he beat out a senior quarterback, a really talented player, who, by the way, was the starting tight end at Alabama this year. Okay, but he had been a quarterback up until Trevor made him a tight end. And a great player, Division I guy, whose path changed because of Trevor. But here's a 14-year-old with the weight of a whole program. I mean, a town. Cartersville is Friday Night Lights. Now, this is big time high school football. They're passionate about it.
He's going to float it to the back of the end zone. It's caught. Touchdown.
Coach, we know he had a huge reputation coming out of high school. Do you remember when that kind of exploded, when he started to get really a lot of attention locally and then kind of growing beyond locally to nationally? And how did he handle that?
It even started in middle school with him because everybody knew who he was. And he started as a freshman in high school, as a 9th grader playing football here in Georgia. That's pretty impressive. As far as the hype of it, I always remember we was at a Chick-fil-A one day watching film, and this elderly lady said, "You are Trevor Lawrence." He said, "Do you mind if I take a picture with you and get an autograph?" And he was so gracious in that. It wasn't arrogant or anything like that. So at that point in time, I knew that he learned how to deal with his status as a celebrity.
I got to follow up on that. Coach, as somebody who played quarterback, if I had a quarterback coach who was training me at a Chick-fil-A, I do believe I would have far exceeded the level at which I played. I mean, that's next level right there.
Trevor going to keep it himself. Bangs over a defender, and he's in the end zone. Touchdown.
So you have to tell me about this throw that I keep hearing about. It's called the throw versus Mary Pearson in the playoffs, the semifinals back in 2016. What am I missing?
I remember him just rolling to his right. He pump faked. The linebacker jumps in there. He does a total spin around and turns to his left, throws it across the field, and drops it right over the shoulder of a receiver on the other side of the field. They went on and won that game rather largely after that.
He's going to float it to the end zone. He's got a man out there. E.J. Turner, did he get it in bounds? Touchdown. What a play.
The other part that I remember is there's a local team up here that their student-run Twitter site decided that they were going to try to talk a little bit of trash about coming into town, and Trevor, they tweeted at him, and that wasn't a good thing to do. And, you know, he's real responsible on social media, too, and he just tweeted out 2 words, wrong move. And shortly after that, their Twitter account apologized, and after that, they went on and won that game by a count of 58-6. It was over early.
Touchdown! What can he do?
Trevor Lawrence, to me, no-brainer.
My God, let's go, Trevor.
When you first laid eyes on Trevor Lawrence, what did you think?
I think he was a sophomore or freshman in high school. I can't remember. And I just said, wow.
Trevor Lawrence, you are up! Everybody get back! Let's roll, babe! Nice ball, nice ball!
He looked like a man even when he was 15, 16 years old. And as he went through the Elite 11 process, he only grew bigger and stronger, more powerful, and honed his craft. And I remember watching him at the opening, saying this guy could go to an NFL training camp right now and throw one-on-one, throw routes on air, and look like an NFL quarterback.
It's great to follow Trevor Lawrence in those early years and that development, but I do want to point out the fact, Bucky, you were there during that Elite 11 experience, and we actually saw a little snippet of you there in that clip, which, by the way, brought me back to something else because I thought there was a little bit of a Fresh Prince vibe going on there with the look that you had going there, Buck. Had the hat tilted a little bit. I can be your Carlton. That's not a problem. I'm here for you.
Yeah, no, look, it's a fun experience being around Trevor Lawrence and a few other top quarterbacks, but Trevor Lawrence stood out. He stood out because when he walks through, he looks like the prototype at the position. Obviously, you notice the long hair, but the arm talent stands out. Big-time thrower, can make all the throws that you want to see. He was very, very impressive as a young guy making these throws. And then it's just the overall aura about Trevor Lawrence when he walks in the building. He is the prototype, and when it comes to a franchise quarterback, big, athletic, talented, but also has these leadership qualities and intangibles that you want to see. I think for someone who came in so ballyhooed and so celebrated, he was very, very humble and of the people, meaning he really was a guy's guy. And so I think those traits have come out, have continued to follow him as he's gone on to Clemson and as he enters the National Football League.
I remember going up there to Oregon and visiting with you, and then talking to Dilfer up there and saying, okay, who are the guys? And it was Justin Fields over there who you were coaching, and then there was Trevor Lawrence. And I said, the guy with the long hair, tell me about him, Trent. And he goes, oh, he's basically an athletic Drew Bledsoe. And I was like, oh, okay, all right then. No, it was high praise, and you could see it, man. It was his talent was readily there for everyone to see as soon as he stepped on the field, and that goes all the way back to high school. From Cartersville to Clemson, Trevor Lawrence was destined for greatness.
Lawrence, touchdown!
How Trevor went from a top recruit to a top pick.
Trevor can be an international superstar.
Welcome back to Move the Six 360, featuring Trevor Lawrence. Buck, what do these numbers say to you?
Those numbers say that winners win. He's a big-time winner. 34-2. You see the completion percentage. The amount of passing yards is ridiculous. But then the touchdown to interception ratio, to me, it just shows that you put Trevor Lawrence on the field, he finds a way to not only get your team in the end zone, he finds a way to get your team to the winner's circle.
Well, when it was all said and done, Lawrence had cemented himself in college football history. And as he prepares to take over the reins in Jacksonville, this season could be the beginning of something very special.
I think Trevor can be an international superstar. You know, there's not many football players that become international superstars. Take the helmets off and, you know, you become a normal person, and sometimes you blend in. Trevor doesn't blend in any regard.
What would you give to just be able to wear Trevor's hair for maybe just a week? If you could just walk around with that mane for a week, what would you give?
Well, if I'd have known you were going to ask that question, I would have put my wig on, because I got a Trevor wig. I've got one. I've got a Trevor wig with a 16 on the forehead right there. You know, I don't know. It seems like a lot of work to me, but you got to worry about your shampoo and, you know, the flip and all that stuff, you know. But, hey, it works for him.
It's a shovel pass in the middle, and Butler his way to the end zone. ETN.
What is it like to play with Trevor Lawrence? What is he like in the huddle?
Trev, he's just cool, calm, and collected. I mean, he really don't voice his opinion much. When he do, everyone stops and listens. And I feel like Trev, the sky's the limit for him, man. I mean, it was really a great experience, a humbling experience for me to be able to play with the #1 pick. Those times you kind of take for granted, but looking back on it, you really see how special those moments was.
ETN is up the tackle. ETN, to the end zone.
Coaching against Trevor Lawrence, and then also seeing him, I'm sure you saw him on a ton of crossover tape this year. Just your take on him as a former quarterback yourself.
Well, you know, he's really unbelievable. I try to find a weakness on him, and I don't know what it is.
How about the touch on this throw?
But I think that one thing that I love more about him than anything else is just his demeanor and his approach to the game. I think that sets him apart from everybody else.
Well, I mean, we didn't really have an answer, to be honest with you. The challenges is that he is big enough and he can be pure in that pocket. He can do what the guys I've coached before can do, and then he can create. So we struggled. Again, best thing you can do is limit the number of snaps they get.
He's big like Peyton, but just a better athlete. I mean, he can just flat out run.
Lawrence keeps it, makes a tackle, touchdown!
And again, he's 6'6", 220, making those moves in the open field.
The run coming, touchdown!
He's got skill set more so than, you know, Tom Brady's tall, but he can't run.
Lawrence in a foot race.
You know, Drew Brees is short.
A game-changing play.
He's 6'6". He runs like he's 6 foot.
Wow!
He's a unicorn, in my opinion.
He looks like a 10-year NFL veteran.
If you watch Steph Curry shoot the ball, it's just like you just go, wow. Just to sit there and watch this guy shoot a basketball. Well, that's how you feel when you watch Trevor throw a football.
What do you think that he has to continue to work on to be the player that we all think that he could be at the next level?
Well, we'll start with what he needs to improve on, and it's been something he's been working on since high school. He's got to become more flexible in his upper torso. So he has very poor thoracic flexibility. Therefore, he doesn't rotate as a thrower. He goes distal and forward as a thrower. So he tends to be wide and spread out at times. That leads to some of the inconsistencies. And that's the only knock you can find on Trevor, is that every once in a while a ball will get away from him when he's really trying to rip it or when he's rushed.
It's intercepted. We're out of time and intercepted. Lawrence delivers a high throw. He's just been off target tonight.
That's really it. He has as good eyes for the game, as good a presence in the pocket, a feel for people around him, when to attack the line of scrimmage as a runner and when to buy time with shuffles and slides in the pocket.
Steps up. A deep throw by Lawrence. Touch.
What are some of the leadership qualities that you've seen him display?
Look what Trevor did for his team, his city, his state, his country this year for college football. Trevor showed boldness in stepping out in front of the social justice issues. COVID, we want to play. He was a thought leader and a vocal leader at every area. And that takes courage for a young man to do. There's a lot of 35, 40-year-olds who don't have that courage.
Up next, Trevor Lawrence embarks on his NFL journey to Jacksonville.
I'm not expecting for anyone to hand me anything. I want to come in there and earn the respect and the right to lead the team. So that's what I'm going to do, and just put the work in, like I said.
Trevor Lawrence. He's the best player in the draft. He can do everything.
Lawrence goes to left corner of the end zone. He's in. Touchdown.
Big time premier talent.
Lawrence back to pass. Look the back of the end zone. Caught. Touchdown.
He's outstanding.
Trevor Lawrence comes out running the football. And once again, will keep it himself. And in the end zone goes Trevor Lawrence. He'll throw it across the middle. Touchdown.
Worthy of the #1 overall pick, which is what he's ultimately going to end up being. Well, here he is on draft night, Trevor Lawrence, hearing his name called as the #1 overall pick. And even though it was the expectation all along, Trevor felt a wide range of emotions when he finally heard his name called.
It was almost kind of like a weight lifted off my shoulders. There's obviously been a lot of expectations coming into this draft, and just nothing's like official, and a lot of things going on. And then obviously with my shoulder and all that. I'm working to get healthy, and I feel like I'm in a great spot, and my body's feeling great. And then finally get to experience this moment that we've all been waiting for a long time with my family and friends was really special. And just like I said, I'm just so excited to be a part of Jacksonville community. Me and my wife, Marissa, we're excited to get down there and really can't wait to go to work and just plug into the community.
Trevor.
What's up, Coach?
How you doing, brother?
I'm good. I'm anxious.
Well, we're about to make you the first overall pick in Jaguar football history. Congratulations to you, Marissa, and your family.
Thank you, Coach.
Coach Meyer, got a great feel from just talking to him on the phone, and obviously I'm excited to get down there and be in person with the guys and the coaches and all that. But I think the biggest thing is that he's a winner. You've seen he's done that his whole career, so I'm really excited to be a part of that. And then number two, like you said, about just adjusting and adapting. I think that's something I do well just because I want to earn the respect of everyone around me, teammates, coaches. I'm not expecting for anyone to hand me anything. I want to come in there and earn the respect and the right to lead the team. So that's what I'm going to do, and just put the work in. Like I said, coming in, I don't have any expectations from anyone else other than myself. I expect to perform well and to adjust quickly and to be ready to go. And that's just something, I expect a lot out of myself. So that's where I'm at mentally. And then from there, like I said, it's just about earning. I think the biggest thing is the respect and trust of your teammates. And I mean, without that, it doesn't really matter what you expect going in. You got to earn that first. So I'm going to take it step by step. But like I said, I'm going to do everything in my power to prepare to be the best I can be and put us in the best chance to win.
Well, Trevor Lawrence becomes the 4th quarterback selected in the first round by the Jacksonville Jaguars, joining Leftwich, Gabbert, and Bortles. The expectation, at least on my end, and I think most people's end, is it's going to be a little different here with Trevor Lawrence, and I know his new head coach agrees.
I won't run through the whole checklist, but in going through your checklist, I have to believe Trevor Lawrence hits about all of them.
Daniel, the thing that was really neat, our owner, Shad Khan, really wanted Trevor right out of the get-go. When the first time I spoke to him, and I explained to him that this is arguably the biggest decision, that I'll make, certainly in professional football in this organization. I said, let us do our work. Let us. I love Trevor. I've known him a long time. I witnessed it, but I have 2 veteran NFL quarterback coaches in Darrell Bevel and Brian Schottenheimer. Let us go to work for a month. And our coaches did. And I always like to, you earn things. And the really cool thing is that in the Jaguars' opinion, Trevor Lawrence earned the right to be the first pick. And that was through the Zoom calls, multiple. We were testing him, quizzing him, grinding him. And he passed with flying colors. So he did a great job.
Well, Buck, I don't know if you know this, but I have the ability to see the future. And I can actually see how Trevor Lawrence is going to progress in his career, as well as physically how he's going to age. You ready? You want me to show you my secret powers here?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Let's look at it. Let's start year 1. He's always going to do is throw 32 TD passes. He's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year as a 22-year-old. Now let's age him a little bit. Let's get to age 28. Now, he's got 4 Pro Bowls under his belt, 3 playoff appearances there with the Jags. Fast forward to age 35. Whoa, he got a haircut. That's big news. But he's celebrated as the best quarterback in Jags history. And then now we go all the way to 55. The hair's long again, and he's back at Cartersville High School, and he's won multiple Georgia 4A state championships. So, some people just try and project out what a rookie season's going to look like, or maybe a career. I took you to age 55. I mean, what else do you need?
Yeah, what else you need? I think the one thing that was synonymous with Trevor Lawrence throughout your predictive analysis was his ability to win and win big. I know the Jaguars are excited to have him. I think it's going to be a perfect marriage when we think about the franchise quarterback in Lawrence and the talent that they're accumulating under Urban Meyer in that front office.
You think they can get this up and running and win some games here early on?
Yeah, I think so. I think just the overall culture change, and with Trevor Lawrence coming in, I think, look, this is a very experienced coaching staff. I feel like they know what they're doing. I believe they'll be a very competitive team in year one. Don't know how many wins that'll translate to, but I expect this to be a very competitive team right out the gate.
I'm curious with the voices in the offensive room. You heard Coach Meyer talking about Schottenheimer as well as Darrell Bevel. What do you think this offense looks like, Buck? This is different than what he did at Clemson.
Yeah, much different than what he did at Clemson. I think it's going to be a run-heavy offense. I think they're going to pound the rock. Obviously, the experiences that both guys had with Russell Wilson, particularly Bevel when Russell Wilson was young, I think that helps it. The running game has to be key. They have 3 running backs in the fold: James Robinson, Carlos Hyde, and then Travis Etienne. They're going to run the football and they're going to throw it all over the yard. Run, play action, play defense is the formula.
No doubt. Well, this has been fun, and as you can see there on the bottom, if you've enjoyed this, I promise you're going to enjoy the Move the Sticks podcast. Just download it, go to NFL.com/podcast or your favorite podcast provider, and be on the lookout for all of our other 360 episodes as we continue to do a deep dive on some of the top prospects in the recent NFL draft. Thanks for hanging with us. We'll catch you next time right here on Move the Sticks.